Hey, what's up users? This is John at Muse for You, and in today's video tutorial I'm going to be showcasing the new click effects widget that I've just put in the Muse for You shop store. So we can check it out real quick. So I'm going to go to museforyoushop.com and I'm going to close this here and I'm going to click on shop now, and if we scroll down we have the click effects widget here. We also have the video opening animation, and I'll go over that in another video tutorial, and there's going to be another widget coming soon as well. But in this video tutorial I'm going to go over the click effects widget. So I'm just going to click on here, and here it says over 20 click effects for your Adobe Muse website. And if we click on preview, we can preview an example site. I've used the SVG draw widget and the animator for this here. It kind of flashes in and out. But here in the preview we can click on features, and we can I'll let you read all the features it has, but basically there's over 20 click effects. You can choose from over 600 font awesome icons. You can customize icon size, customize icon color, the before and the after the click. You can customize effect size, customize effect color, and choose from over 20 preset mouse pointers, so you can change the mouse pointer when you hover over the click or the icon, or that particular button. And you can add an image for the mouse pointer, and the image must be 128 by 128 or less. And you can link the button to an external page, internal page, an anchor link on your website, a composition trigger, or a slideshow button in Adobe Muse. And it works on desktop, tablet, and mobile, and then I've written what the zip file includes. Very good. And if we click on widget options, we can look at the widget options. There is another option that I just recently added, and I'll update this, where you can actually select the instance number for the widget. So you can have multiple widgets, different colors, different styling, or multiple click effects on your website. So I'll show you that in this video tutorial as well. Alright, so if we click here where it says see effects, we'll scroll down and we can click on the icons. Here it says click on the icons, and we can just click to see the different effects we have here. It's a lot of fun, and it can really add a lot of interest and styling to your website. It can kind of make your website pop when the user clicks on certain elements of your website. Very good. That's a few more there, and I'll just click on them to kind of showcase them. They're a lot of fun, but if you just click on the preview, you can check them out and see if you'll find it useful for your website. Alright, I like this one here at the end. It's kind of like a solar system around the icon. It's very cool. And here we have a GUI click effect as well. So you click on these and you have these really interesting effects for your Adobe Muse website. Alright, it can be a lot of fun and add a lot of styling to your website. Alright, if we scroll down, the widgets I used in this demo, they're here: the click effects, the SVG draw, and the animator. Very good, and I just left a little note, and I'll go over this in the video tutorial, where you want the center effect option to be half the size of the effect size so that the effect is centered perfectly on the icon. Very good, so that's it there. If you just click on the preview when you go to the shop, you can check all this out. You can check the features, the widget options, and this will link to the video that I'm making right now. Alright, so I'm going to open up Adobe Muse. I have a 960 grid here page, and I'm going to just show you a few examples of using the click effects widget. I'm going to add the click effect to a composition and a slideshow. So to add the click effect to a composition, I'm going to go to Object, Insert Widget. I'm going to click on Composition, and I'm going to click on Blank. Very good. So we have 3 triggers down here, and we have the target here. We'll have 3 different targets. So I'm just going to fill the targets with images. So I'll click on the first trigger, and now we're on the first target. So I'm going to go to Fill, Add Image, and I'll select this first image here. And then I'm going to click on the second trigger, and then I'll click on the target, and I'll go to Fill, Add Image. I'll add the second image here. I'll click on the third trigger, and now we have this target here. I'll go to Fill, Add Image, and then I'll click on this third image here. And then I'll scale to fill and center it, and I'll do the same for these as well. Scale to fill and center. And then this first one, I'll go to fill, scale to fill, and center. Perfect. So now these 3 different triggers, when you click on them, have different images. So now what I want to do is fill each of these triggers with a click effect. So I'm going to go to my library panel, and I've already installed the click effect, and all you do to install it is you open up the zip file that comes with the click effect when you download it, and then you double click, and then that'll open the zip file, and you double click on the .mulib file, and that'll install the widget. Yep, so it's just double clicking and you'll have it in your library panel. If you don't see the library panel, simply click on Window, Library, and I'll click it again to bring it back up. Very good. So I'll scroll down to my Muse for You click effects widget, and I'll just click, hold, and drag and place it onto my Adobe Muse website. Very good. So there it is. There's the icon. And now what I want to do is place this click effect in the trigger, and you'll notice that when you hover over the trigger, or when you place this click effect over the trigger, the border of the trigger becomes more of a solid blue. So I'll just click, hold, and there it is. So now I have this trigger with the click effect in it, and if I click a few times, I can select the click effect, and now I can style the click effect in here while it's in the trigger. So I'm just gonna kind of select a few options. Here are the different click effects. There's over 20 here, and then you have over 600 font awesome icons. So I'll just select kind of like this one here, GG circle, and then you can change the icon size. So I'm going to change it to 50, and here's the effect size. I'm going to change this to 100, and then if you change the effect size, you want to make sure that the center effect is exactly half of the effect size, and that'll make sure that that effect is centered on the icon. And I'll leave the colors the way it is now. The instance number, I'll leave it at 1, and that's basically it. So now we have this trigger is now a click effect, and I want to take this gray background off the trigger. So I just simply select the trigger, and I'll click a few times to select the trigger, and then for the fill, I'll say none, and for the stroke, I'll set it to 0. And I want to make sure that I go to normal, the different states, and I set those different options as well. Alright, so now it's perfect. This trigger is now that click effect, and when the user clicks on it, it'll have a click effect, and it will trigger the composition, and the composition will change. Alright, so now I just have to do that for the rest of these buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in here, and I'm simply going to copy the click effect, and again insert it into the trigger, and the trigger automatically resizes when you place the click effect in there. And again, I want to make sure that this trigger doesn't have any fill and no border as well. So I'll just make sure that that's taken out, and now all the states are empty. There's no fill or stroke color, no background color or stroke. And then I'll do it one more time. I'll hit Command V to paste the click effect, and oh, perfect, it pasted right in there. But let me undo that so you can see what I did. So I'll just paste the click effect, it pastes, and I'll place it over the trigger, and now it fills the trigger. And again, I'll click on the normal state, and I'll make sure that there's no fill or stroke on there. Alright, perfect. So now I just want to change these icons in the click effect, kind of to add some variation. And I'm just randomly selecting these icons, and I'll leave a link in the description area below where it has the in the show more sections. I'll leave a link to the font awesome icons so you can see the different icons you can select, and there's quite a few. So we'll do here, check. All right, perfect. So I'm just going to move this here and place it so that it makes a little more sense for my website. And perfect, I think, yeah, that looks good. And so now, actually, let me make sure that this is, yeah, there we go, perfect. Now I'm going to hit Command-Shift-E to preview in the browser, and here are my click effects. And as you can see, you click on the different icons, and it has a click effect, it changes color, and it triggers the composition. It's a lot of fun. And a quick note, if you place the triggers or the click effects, and they all have the same instance number, the last click effect that you place will control the other click effects. So if I change the color, and I'll just click a few times in here, if I change the color, okay, let me try again, and there we go, perfect. If I change the color here of the effect color, let's say to like green, all the other ones will have green as well. As we can see, they're all green. Now let's say I wanted different colors or different effect colors for the different icons. Well, to do that, I would simply click on the, let me just get in there, click in the click effect, and I would change the instance number, let's say to 2, and then I would change the color to, let's say, blue there. And I could change pretty much everything else. I could change the icon color after and the icon color before, and now we have a totally kind of different colored button, and the other two will have different styling as well. And let's say I wanted to change it for the third one, I just give it a different instance number, number 3, and I'll change the styling again, just kind of randomly select some colors here, and there we go. And so now I hit Command-Shift-E, and we have different colors, click effects there for each of them. And we can also change the pointer for each of them if they have different different instance numbers. So I'm just randomly selecting some pointers from the list here that I have. You can also add an image for the pointer. So actually I'll do that. I actually have an image that I can go to. Very good. So I've added an image here for my image cursor. So now if I hit Command-Shift-E, we can see there's a pointer now for the button, and this has a different icon there for the cursor, and this one has my Muse for You logo. All right, and if you select an image, it has to be 128 by 128 or less in order for it to work correctly. All right, so that's a lot of fun there. You can do a lot with this widget and customize everything. If you do have multiple buttons, it is a little more code heavy in the back end. You have more style sheets in your website, but it's not too much code. What I would recommend, if you're only using one type of button or one type of style for your buttons, just copy and paste. And if you use one style, you can have the different click effects. You can change the click effects and it'll still use the same style sheet in the back end. This is if you know a bit of code, you'll know about style sheets. But if you copy and paste, it'll use the same style sheet, and you can change the click effect and you can change the icon and it'll use the same style sheet. The only time the style sheet will change is if you have a different icon size or effect size or center effect or different icon colors, and then you'll want to use a different instance number and you'll have a different style sheet for that particular button. So you can have quite a few buttons. I mean, I wouldn't have like 100 or even 20 is kind of a lot, but I don't see kind of that happening if you're designing a site having that many buttons. But if you are, it would still work, but it'll be a little more code heavy in the back end as it's using more style sheets. If you have like 3, 4, 5 different buttons, that'll be fine and great for your site, and it won't be too heavy. But if you're just using one button and one styling for the color, then I would suggest, one size and one color, I would suggest just copying and pasting the click effect. All right, very well. So I think I've talked enough about that. Now I'm just going to add a click effect to a slideshow, so we can add arrows to a slideshow and have a cool click effect for the slideshow. So to do that, I'm going to add a slideshow. I'm going to go to Object, Insert Widget, click on Slideshow, click on, I'll just have a basic slideshow, and very good. And I think I put it inside the trigger, so let me try that one more time. Object, Insert Widget, Slideshow, Basic, and perfect. So now we have the slideshow, and I'll just move it down a little bit here. And with the slideshow, you have a caption. I don't need the caption for this one, but I do need the left and right arrows, so I'm just going to place them to the left and the right. And very good. And we can have a counter. I'll put the counter like right here or kind of in the center below. Perfect. Now if I want to add a click effect inside the previous and next buttons, what I simply do, and I'll just copy this click effect, I'll hit Command-C to copy, Command-V to paste. And what we want to do now that we have this click effect is we want to cut it. So I'm going to hit Command-X to cut it. And then I'm going to go in the previous text box here. I'm going to highlight it, and I can delete this little arrow. And now I can hit Command-V to paste. And this click effect is actually inside this text box. And we can make the text box bigger to match the click effect. So there it is. We have a text box with the click effect. We want to make sure that it fits nicely in there. All right, and now I want to change the click effect to like an arrow pointing left. So I'm going to search for arrow, and I'm going to say arrow circle left. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to copy this click effect, and I'm going to go to the right, the next cursor. I'm going to copy in there, delete that arrow, then I'm going to hit Command V to paste, and very good. And I'm just going to make this text box a little bit bigger to match that click effect, and I'll just move it up, and perfect. And we've lined them up, and now I just want to change this arrow to arrow right in the icons, so we can select an icon there, and that's pretty much it. So now if I hit Command Shift E to preview in the browser, we have a click effect for the next and previous buttons for our Adobe Muse website. So that's a lot of fun. You can really add a lot of styling and a lot of kind of animation to your website with these click effects. I can go back in here and change the click effect to, you know, a different click effect. And again, I could style it. I could give it a different instance number and have different colors for the click effects, and it'll be really cool. All right. So let me scroll down so we can see we have those cool click effects there for the next and previous buttons, and it changes the image inside the slideshow. Very well. And I want to just showcase one of my favorite click effects. I think it's the Milan one here. It has like this cool solar system. I like all of them, but this Milan I just want to showcase. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a cool click effect. So you can see it's like a little solar system around the buttons. I really like that. All right, so we have these here as well. And you can just go through them, the different click effects. And I'll move this down a little bit so it doesn't kind of touch this click effect here. And you can see it's all part of the slideshow because it all moves together. But yeah, you can check out the preview for all the different click effects. There is a GUI click effect it comes with the widget. There's a click effects widget GUI, and I'll just showcase this real quick. I'll place it in here. I'll make the icon a little bit bigger, 50, effect size 100, center effect 50, and hit Command Shift E. If we click on it, it's kind of like this GUI effect, click effect, and you can have multiple of these in multiple different colors as well, because there is an instance number as well, and you can have, you know, instance 1, instance 2, instance 3, and change all the colors, change the pointer, and select an image for a cursor. Again, the image cursor should be 128 by 128 or less. But yeah, that's the GUI one, and that's excuse me. Yeah, I was correct a little bit, but that's in the widget as well. All right, very good. So we have that. We can add the click effects to the cursor, and just, you know, have an image cursor and have, you know, use the different cursors that come with the widget. We can use it in compositions, slideshows, or just to link to different pages, external pages on our Adobe Muse website, or internal pages, or anchor points on the page. So you can have like that scrolling effect as well. If you click on the click effect, it'll scroll down and have the effect right before it scrolls. Again, you can check that in the preview section, all the different click effects. Yeah, I'll go to the site. You can check it out, museforyoushop.com. And I'll close this here, click on Shop Now, click on Click Effects. You can click on Preview to preview it. And you can check out the features, widget options. You can see all the effects that come with the widget. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, check out the SVG Draw widget and the Animator. I've added the SVG Draw. I used it for these borders that come around each of these different sections. So it's a lot of fun. You can see it kind of, the SVG Draw draws that border there. Very cool. So it's a lot of fun. You can do a lot with these widgets, really add a lot of styling to your Adobe Muse website, make it really interactive, and yeah, if that's the word, or kind of animate it, make it fun and really interesting for your viewers and your visitors. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with these widgets, just merging everything together and kind of making these effects accessible for you in Adobe Muse without having to know any code at all, which I think is a lot of fun. I know when I first started websites, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to learn all this code. So I'm really excited to be making this really easy and accessible for you, for everyone who uses Adobe Muse and wants to be able to use these effects and these ideas for their Adobe Muse website. All right, so thanks again for watching. If you like this video, or you like this whole everything that I'm doing, you can subscribe below. just click on the subscribe button. You can click the show more button below. There's various resources, free resources, and there's links to other widgets and different things on my website. You can become a patron on Patreon if you like kind of my video creation process and everything. And definitely visit museforyoushop.com. Check out the shop. There's definitely more widgets. I've added a widget bundle if you want to get quite a few of the widgets that are in my shop, like the SVG draw, the animator, animated borders menu, animated buttons. Yeah, just check that out, and I think I've covered everything. The next video will be the video opening animation, which is a really cool widget that I've recently created or have come out with, and I've added to the shop. Very good. Thanks again for watching, and yeah, been having a lot of fun, and I'll see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.